Hi everyone, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. I'm going to get into something today that could be contentious or controversial. Just sharing some thoughts and ideas with you. By the way, do you like my t-shirt? I'm actually a big fan of Tyrannosaurus Rex. This album in particular, Beard of Stars, this was the album that introduced electric guitar, electric instruments to the acoustic setup of Mark Bolan's group T-Rex, just before they turned from Tyrannosaurus Rex into T-Rex and then headed for the glam era, which was sort of the heights and decline of the band. But prior to that, there was this very magical acoustic group, and quite magical and mythical and mystical in the lyrical content that was really wonderful. Sort of along the lines, or in the same genre, you might say, as the Incredible String Band and Donovan. Anyway, that's that. I've been enjoying collecting these album cover t-shirts that I've been finding more and more of online lately, in the hopes that they may communicate to other like-minded people, that I might connect with them and make some new friends. It's hard for me to make small talk or socially interact with strangers, and I feel like if I'm wearing a sort of a billboard of my likes on my body, that maybe someone will approach and wish to share similar likes. Maybe I should look for some tarot t-shirts, if there are any out there. Anyway, so the reason I'm here today is to sort of discuss some thoughts and concerns that I personally have about tarot. And this also has to do with social interaction. I've found a really wonderful, warm and welcoming community in online tarot people, and I thought, well, gee, why can I not find more individuals in my vicinity? Well, so I went looking online for trying to use some keywords to find like tarot communities in New York City, and particularly gay males that I might connect with, because I would say a disproportionate amount of tarot students or followers are of the feminine persuasion. That's an awkward phrase, isn't it? I should say there are more women tarot readers or tarotists than men out there, as far as I can find. And so I thought, well, it would be really nice, with as big a city as New York City is, if I could find some like-minded men to meet in cafes and discuss tarot and other things. So anyway, I did some searching online, and I was kind of disturbed at what I found, although probably not surprising. When I went to look for tarot, it seemed like most or all of the listings that came up in my searches had to do with fortune telling, and fortune telling at a price. And that kind of didn't set right with me, because my approach to tarot is very different. There were a lot of people that listed themselves as tarot readers and psychics, and then they list their going rates. Now, I don't have any issue with people putting a fee for their services, or making a living off of whatever they wish to do. I just don't connect with that. And although I realize how difficult it is to make a living, and I am fortunate enough to, despite all odds, have put in my time at a day job to the extent that I build up my Social Security account to where I now am retired and living off of the government via the Social Security that I paid in and am now reaping the rewards on. And that was the awkward time for me, trying to make a day-to-day living off of a weekly workday pittance of a pay, doing things that I didn't fully enjoy. I know a lot of people, unfortunately, have to work at things they don't really enjoy or are passionate about in order to put food on the table and pay their rent and so on. But anyway, I got to thinking about people approach tarot for different reasons in different ways, and I'm fine with everybody doing that. I'm happy to be part of the community online around the world, tarot community. I have found myself drifting away from sections of it that mostly do readings. And the intent of the readings, I'm not sure about. I sort of question. I mean, it's a service to some, and some, I believe, are providing a service selflessly, and some are making a profit off of that. And all that's okay. It just feels to me like trading on spirituality that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. And also I feel like it's a little bit like, I can't help but connect it to religion, an organized religion. I feel like everybody out there should have some sort of belief system. Or maybe I shouldn't say system. They should have some sort of beliefs. They should have some they probably have some questions about their existence and about mysteries and the unknown. And they want answers to things where maybe answers aren't readily given. And I am very much in support of people seeking answers and looking on their own to find answers and doing their own research. And if they have a spirituality, finding their own way to whatever it is, a higher power, or God, or whatever you want to call it. But I think, to me, it's a private pursuit. It's an individual pursuit. Each person has their own questions, their own direction for seeking answers, and their own ways of trying to find them. And my relationship to tarot is, I'm not a psychic. I'm not what one might call a fortune teller, which a lot of these online postings seem to profess to be. And I suppose that a lot of them list that way because they are in pursuit of making a living. So that's advertising. That's more for the reason or the purpose of making a living than it is to reaching out to like-minded individuals. So maybe I just got my keywords for my searches in there wrong, but I'm not finding like-minded people out there in my vicinity with which to connect and interact and have conversations in cafes and so forth. I guess what I'm feeling is, like if I want to pursue my investigation or my religion, I find my spirituality and pursue it privately. And I am willing, through my channel, to open up areas of investigation to others that they might find their own way, or to work in consultation with those people. Then there are others that are more like what I call preachers, that are sort of like, okay, they're part of a system that they almost act as if the people that they're reading for are incapable of looking for those answers themselves, or are totally dependent on a leader to direct them in the right direction. So it's kind of like, also, my connection to tarot is very different than a lot of people too, because it's more psychological than spiritual in a way. But there is an odd connection. I kind of relate to it like reading images and synchronicities. Carl Jung, the psychologist and psychoanalyst, sort of developed this idea that we try to find meaning from things unknown or seemingly unknowable. And I relate very much to that. I think that we look at images and symbols and we see things in the world around us, and sometimes they fall into place in a manner that feels sort of unnatural or supernatural. Or isn't that a coincidence, you know? Isn't that a synchronicity that I saw that and then such and such happened to kind of mirror that? So that's kind of more my approach to tarot and kind of what I'm looking for. So I've been having a little difficulty in terms of relating to the community recently, because when I see a proliferation of readers online, I guess I become a little bit jaded and question their motives and whether it's purely selfless or whether there's something in it that they get out of it that sort of strokes the ego. I know the purpose of readings can help enhance one's skills by reading with other people and for other people. Tarot is a discovery experience, but sometimes it just feels like I'm in front of a preacher preaching to me, or preaching to someone else, or counseling someone else in a way that doesn't apply to me and is sort of like from a place of superiority or something. I don't know. Like I said, I think this is going to be controversial to some people. Some people may question themselves and their own motives and may question me if I'm criticizing them. And it's like, hey, you know, the tarot sphere is out there for everybody for all kinds of reasons. And I'm not trying to put anybody down. It's just a segment of the community that I find myself distancing myself from. So when I see like readings online, and a lot of readings seem to be for people that have other tarot channels and read for themselves. So it's like, do they really need a reading? Maybe they need a different perspective, but I don't know. I'm a little overwhelmed by the proliferance of readers for readers. And I guess I'm leaning more in support of people that share the tools for reading so other people can discover those and read for themselves, or ways to grow in learning how one might read, or what a direction one might pursue to read. And that doesn't mean that I think any less of the people who are readers. I think every one of them I've run across is wonderful. I just find myself tuning into those channels less and less. And I guess tarot is kind of like a big buffet. You take what you want and you leave what you don't. So, yeah, I don't know. Still sort of trying to sort this out and sort out my place in the community. I know there are others that feel similarly. They don't talk about it so much, possibly because they're afraid of distancing themselves from the community. I don't wish to lose followers because of this. I hope if you haven't subscribed and you identify with this in any manner, that you will subscribe and support my efforts in terms of expanding other ideas to other people. And I'm sharing online less and less often. When I do share, it's because I have something that's important to me to share, worth sharing, or I have a deck that I think others might find as a useful tool. I've started recently to do interactive deck walkthroughs. Instead of private walkthroughs, I will be looking at new decks as I acquire them and having a live chat so that people can join in and share their thoughts along the way. I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions, pros and cons, as I always have, as the card curmudgeon. But also I will be open to seeing what other people think about these tools. And that could be an interesting learning experience in our sharing of ideas, of tools and ideas about using those tools. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to share about this. Kind of debated whether to even get into this and whether it is a controversy, whether it's controversial or not, whether it's contentious or not. I don't mean to be a complainer. I don't mean to be putting anybody down. I'm sort of only trying to hone in on where my focus is and, how I look at who I am, how I describe myself. How should I describe myself? I guess I'm a tarotist, tarot studier, tarot reader, card reader, image reader, synchronicities identifier. I don't know what the label is. Maybe I don't have a label. Maybe it's just random images on a stack of paper cards that I'm looking at and trying to see if I find any meaning there that I connect with on a subconscious or other level. Something symbols convey. Do they convey across from one person to another? I think they do. Maybe not everybody, but that's one thing I found out about tarot, that there is some similarity, some synchronicity between symbols across decks and across people. We've come to, when we see an octagonal red sign, we know it's a stop sign. And we've learned that we don't even need to read the word stop when we see that anymore. It's a symbol we identify with. Well, there are certain symbols that we come to acknowledge that way. And I think that's one aspect of oracle decks that I connect with, and I don't generally connect with oracle decks because generally they tell me too much. They're too wordy. They put in keywords, or they put in a sentence-like descriptions to sort of, pardon the expression, dictate to us how to interpret those symbols, rather than encouraging us to say what we see in the symbols, or what others have told us they see in the symbols. So I tend to sort of veer away from oracle decks because I don't want somebody reading me scripture or telling me how best to interpret what I'm looking at. I realize some people need that as sort of a crutch. And you'd think with a name like Crutchfield, I might need that, but I find the field is too large of those crutches. And I'd rather be the robin that sings about what I see, what I find above and beyond those crutches. So maybe that's a good place to stop, and I hope again that you will subscribe to my channel for whatever reason. I'm not really looking to increase my numbers, but I've hit a sort of a standpoint, which is enough people to feel happy about continuing to make output, but still kind of wondering why I'm not finding more of an audience out there. And I don't make money off my channel, so I'm not looking at it for those reasons. I think I'm looking at a wider array of people out there to identify with and communicate with and share ideas. And it's one way on our planet of being able to reach out and touch and have people reach out and touch back and connect with you. And for people like myself that have social interaction issues, this is a way to do that. It took me a little while to decide to create my own channel. And some people may ask, why? Why are you doing that? Is it all your ego? No. I really just wanted to find a way to connect with others. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I hope to continue to do on my own, what do you call it? Under my own guidelines, or my own intuition, my own, I don't know what that's called. I'm at a loss for the word at the moment, but I think you know what I mean. I set my own rules and standards and styles and methods, and you know, when I feel like reaching out, I do. I no longer schedule times, regularity, routine times to reach out, even though that probably would be more beneficial to increasing my viewership. I just wait until the time feels right. Maybe that's part of synchronicity. If I reach out at the right time, I'll find others also looking to reach out. We won't all be dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus Rex. We won't all be extinct. We'll find each other out there. In the meantime, everybody take care and live positively and spread blessings and good tidings and support. And I hope to see you all soon. Bye.